Welcome everyone to the Vermin Sermon. Before we start things off, I want to actually address something, and I didn't mention it to my guys here, but it's pretty minor. Um, Believe it or not, I
Miners.
actually what's it called? I misinformed you guys a little bit on something. It's not that big a deal. Like it's probably like the least impactful thing someone could misinform someone on, but just like the fact that I did in fact misinform you guys, um, I am gonna sort of clear things up. So it's like you're gonna be like, wow, that's it. Like I was expecting it to be more serious. No, don't. It's not gonna be serious.
Shitty
So
surprise.
in Need for Speed Carbon, I used to think that the physics and handling system was different for the seventh generation systems compared to PC and the sixth generation of consoles. What I mean is everything is exactly the same except race and pro tires and suspension are different on the seventh gen of consoles. Apparently, they aren't. I did specifically say that they were different in a previous episode. Who knows how long ago that was? But hey, there you go. Apparently, it's they're not different. That actually kind of makes things a bit better because the way I do things currently in Carbon is because I've been replaying the game. I what's it called? I usually you will use a tuner with stock tires and stock suspension. Try it out. It's actually pretty ridiculously fast. Like take a tier
Yeah,
3
the
tuner. Yeah, what's up?
Evo stock tires, stock suspension, and using the money shift technique where you just ripping like a hairpin instantly. Vile. That car's vile.
Yeah,
You can
tell
be
me about it.
Darius in two corners in that.
Yeah. Um with that and like also you can use speed breaker. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of this. If you enable and then immediately disable speed breaker, you get a little boost of grip. And
Speed
while
breaker,
you
speed breaker is okay.
Yeah, and while you're using speed breaker, it increases mass, so you will actually start to like slip a bit. But some weird, like it's weird that I'm still learning things about this game years and years and years after it came out. It's just that's just wild to me that I'm still able to do that. Um, and in general, you know, uh, I've been playing Carbon with mods and stuff like that. And out of curiosity, I was like, you know what? I wonder what's the state of Need for Speed Heat with mods. Um, and so I guess dipped my toes in the water, found Project Unite, and that in combination with some other mods that I installed, I've actually been playing Heat again recently, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I genuinely recommend people that to return to Heat. I genuinely recommend it. You might return for and like mess around with some of the I guess customization that you wouldn't have been able to do without the mods, and then you get your done and you had your fun for a few minutes, but just Heat is not amazingly fun. Or if it isn't amazingly fun for you, then I understand that. But it's definitely worth a try because I don't know if you would be able to know what camp you're in unless you, I guess, go ahead and install the mod. Um, Now, what's interesting is that the mod itself, because it's using a certain version of an editing tool that doesn't have a mod manager up. Because normally you have two tools. You can edit mods and then create them. And then the other one is well, after you've exported them, you can apply them. So it is a little bit frustrating that with Heat, you can't just pick mods and apply them. Yeah, I had to download mods and then actually install them. It showed me how to install them. But you see, Project Unite, at the time of this recording, is about to get another update, which means I am going to have to reinstall those other mods that I had installed previously. And because my desktop PC isn't with me, I've had to revert the visuals because my laptop can't quite fully handle the visual
RIP.
changes that Heat's made. Yeah. What were you saying, man?
I was gonna say, I said RIP. That's quite sad. But well, what other mods
Yeah.
did you have? Because like I tried out the Heat Unite and I actually like it. The atmosphere, the other things that make things pop. I
Yeah.
think it has some of the stuff from Heat Plus, but
Yeah. No, I think I'm
overall,
fairly
it's
certain.
completely different.
And don't quote me on this,
Isn't
but
there an amalgamation of a bunch of mods?
yeah, no, I think
Project, yeah,
Project Unite
Yeah, is that's what's called
includes.
Unite? I'm pretty sure.
includes Heat Plus.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
think it
there's like
includes
things on top of it.
everything in Heat Plus. So,
Yo, it's crazy. The fans updated the game before the devs did.
yeah, and I've been thinking
That's
about
another
this.
L.
Um, I think the real thing as to why such a thing is happening, it might have to do with the fact that what if it's really easy to edit and update things on PC, but it's it's really annoying on console. Is that a possibility? Right? Again, I know nothing about game development.
Hmm.
Could that be
I
See,
wouldn't.
possible?
I
I
wouldn't be
never did
surprised.
that, but you can't rule it out.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I never
that's
thought of it like that.
The
because what
only
if
thing
it's
about
just like,
that consoles are kind of like PCs anyway with the same architecture, so
yeah,
it can't be.
yes.
Obviously, I'm being an armchair
Kind of
developer
point.
at the minute, but it can't be
Hmm.
that hard.
You know,
Unless I have like a
and
PS3 with the weird Zorgon architecture that I had, but it's not the PS3
Oh,
era
yeah.
anyway. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, actually, um, I really don't think that was the issue. Because if you remember, when we're looking for what updates they're gonna do, and then they do some just like completely tone deaf, like, the AI is extremely unbalanced, and we can tell that it's genuinely unbalanced because after you beat a race, that's recommended that your car be around, let's say, level 225. And some cars are 224, 223, 226. It's averaged out. And then one guy is running like a 380 plus, or, like anywhere like above 300. You know what I'm saying? It's very clearly
Yeah.
imbalanced because you can tell about at the end of the race, the at the race standings, the performance levels. Honestly, like they should have just hid that so that people wouldn't be able to know like how terrible they are at managing that. Anyways, instead of patching that, we got a chat wheel. We got a chat wheel. We got wheel
That's
support.
worth it, man.
We got what did we get besides those two things? I can't remember.
We got that crappy update with what you call it, where we what car was it? The Jaguar
Oh,
and the
no,
races.
no.
I
It,
forgot
it
what
was
it called.
it was an
Aston's
Aston. Yeah, it was an Aston Martin and a
Aston,
McLaren
yeah,
F1.
it had crappy handling. It had
Yeah,
crappy handling, and the McLaren F1 was a fiver.
yeah,
It was also. Do you remember like that? There were leaks of those new cars coming, but they never came out. That would have been a bit cool, like the
yeah,
RX-8
man.
and the S13.
Oh
Like
gosh,
that's
because they probably were in the works, but then it got canceled and everything else. That's really
yeah.
upsetting. But I mean, what can we do now? Honestly, though, like that wasn't even that exciting to me personally because there were so many other issues they had to address. Like, dude,
Of
S
course.
14 isn't gonna address the problem of like falling through the map. Now, granted, I've experienced a lot less clipping issues, and this doesn't. I don't think it has to do with Unite, but like installing rally suspension in when I'm playing Heat, and then everything else tracker race based seems to help a ton. Like,
Wait,
um,
I'm pretty sure like in the mod they did something
yeah.
with the aero of each car because they said like
Yes.
it's
Yes,
kind of weird with the suspension. So they probably
they
fix it like that.
they
Like that just shows how
removed
broken
the
it was
aerodynamics
and how
cap.
like bad some of the depth was
Yeah.
or
Some of
whatever they did, man.
the top speeds of cars. Now, granted, every car will max out at 245. It is what it is. Whatever. Who cares? It's unfortunate, but um, that's it's one of those things where with the aero cap, I never understood why. Ever since 2015, cars will accelerate very quickly, and they will accelerate. I would make the assumption that they would accelerate closely as like a representation of how a car with such horsepower and all that stuff would in real life.
Yeah,
But then it hits 220 and then just stops. And it's basically how it feels. Dude, in Need for Speed Carbon, I think I might have already mentioned this in the last one, maybe. I don't
probably.
know if I ever talked about this, maybe I just talked about it with some guys casually. I think that's probably the case. The Ford GT can hit 323 miles per hour.
Oh, really? You have
300.
you have. Oh
Yeah,
my
okay, I
god!
did.
Yeah, I've seen that online. I checked it out after I think you talked about it, and that's just weird.
Yeah.
I think just the broken engine. Because imagine clipping at that speed,
Oh my
you'd probably
gosh.
total the
Yeah.
car, and go back to the garage, or wouldn't.
Yeah, that would be
Something's wrong with
Like
it.
a
ridiculous.
Like
graveyard.
yeah,
Yeah.
if that's the
Oh.
case, if that's the case, for next year new speed, the fucked it, mate.
Oh man.
Like,
Yeah.
how can you be a few years with that kind of issue happening? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. So I recommend if anyone's gonna, be checking out Project Unite, uh, just to have a better time, use rally suspension, or if not rally suspension, experiment with suspension and tires and stuff, because there are ways to basically negate clipping or at least reduce it. Um, I genuinely I've been having a good time with the game again. I installed some other ones, mods. Like one allows you to earn money at night, so I don't have to like play the game in the daytime. I can just play at
What's
night,
that
earn
mod
money.
called?
Uh,
How that?
it's just uh, it is literally just I just looked it up on Nexus Mods or something like that.
Oh, okay. I'll get
It's
to check
just
it out later.
called something
That's
like
good.
that. Yeah, yeah, no, it is really cool, and it's just one of those things where there's also one that lets you have like more repairs during the night. Well, actually, like there's a certain parameter in Frosty where you can edit that. But there's a mods one made where you can get an infinite amount of repairs each night through the auxiliary. And a lot of these aren't that difficult to find. Like you can, like honestly, if you just look, you can edit a number of things in the editor and basically, you know, improve or change your experience. Like I removed the ability to hit Heat 6 because Heat 6 in the mod, first of all, it removes your multiplier. Maybe that'll be fixed in the next update. Who knows? And what was I gonna say? Heat 6, it removes your multiplier, and it doesn't actually make it that much harder. It just makes it more tedious. Like cops just spawn like crazy, and you can just be like killing cops over and over and over again, and it'll seem like it'll never end. So I was like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with that. So I managed to remove it in some assets inside the editor. So it's honestly messing around with heat and mods and stuff like that alone. I think is worth returning to it because there's just so much more stuff you can do to just make the overall experience more enjoyable. And I highly recommend it. Now, there are some things that I'm a little bit, makes me scratch my head. Some cars in Unite have a ton of engine swaps. It's actually really sick. I had an S13. No, it wasn't an S13. It was I had a BRZ, and the BRZ has like 100 engine swaps available. It's really
I
sick.
think you can put in engines
That's
from each car in the
comprehensive.
game.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like some engine sounds have been tweaked because believe it or not, I think both Frostbite and like older Need for Speed games use GIN files or something like that for their audio. So you can just like add sounds from black box games. So the RB26 sounds like it did in like I think maybe Carbon or something like that. The stock RB26, not the modified one, since modified sounds and Carbon are a little less realistic and a little more exaggerated, which completely makes sense. Whatever, like the engine sound of the Evo is different. It's really funny. One of the things I like the most about it is that with engine swaps, they actually give you like the manufacturer and the like the engine code.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
like
those
that
are the details I
detail.
love.
Like I'm learning more about cars and stuff with this mod intuitively. I'm not just like googling like, oh, what engine does this car have? There's no, I mean, like I've done that before, but this is like I can just dynamically
I
just
do that all the
see
fucking time. Yeah.
and like I can hear it, what it sounds like at the same time, and then it's really Honestly, it's one of my favorite parts about the mod, and I know it's a very like small detail, but it's something I really appreciate.
I
Um,
think it's the small details that which complete a game. Like talking about the
yeah,
modern stuff, I'm sure that they changed the M3 GTR sound of it to make it
mm,
more like the Most Wanted 2005 one, which I
they
like.
did, they did.
Oh, I'm
They
I'm pretty sure they did.
increased. Yeah, they increased the sound of certain things. Like they increased the sound of turbochargers and superchargers because they're a bit more quiet in the base game.
Yeah,
They give you more turbocharger options. Now, performance wise, I think they're all the same. Like what I mean is, if you have like a set of four dual turbos, the four dual turbos, they're going to give you equivalent performance, but it's different. It uses different sounds of turbos, which is really cool, actually.
yeah,
Um,
you can change it like because there are quite a few different sounds, and obviously people are gonna like
There's a
different
lot of
type.
them out there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Now,
on about in the game itself. Like there's some that are
yeah,
really loud, there's some that are quiet, and some that do it certain ways. I can't explain it
yeah. It's like
properly without.
it's so it's like custom tailored so that if there's any specific thing you want, it's almost as if like you can kind of get that experience. Anyways, there are a few things that made me scratch my head about the mod. Um, the Pagani Huayra was one of the cars that got 100 engine swaps, but the S13 wasn't. The Honda Civic, the Type R, the older Type R, that one didn't. Uh, it was,
That
like, it's
it
your
could have been
mod.
cool
Like they did all the
full
work. Like I'm not
yeah.
complaining, but like that really made me scratch my head. Whose question? If has anyone in the history of the world thought, this Pagani Huayra BC is great, but I wish I could put an RB in it. I really don't think that
So do you like?
conversation's ever been had. Um, hey, if you're out there in real life, if for some reason someone who literally owns a Pagani Huayra BC and you've swapped in an RB26, let me know and I'll delete my channel.
I
It's not
think
gonna
you're gonna win
happen.
that bet.
It's not gonna happen. It's
I
gonna.
think you're winning that one.
Why? Okay.
Also, also, it
Okay,
would have
go
been
ahead.
perfect because you can get the Ford's S2K engine, and you could have put that in the Honda Civic, the old one, which would have been
Yeah,
sick. I
yeah,
don't
you
get.
you could have done
That's a
that.
missed
Um,
opportunity.
but
And the
it's
same thing
not.
for the
Here's the thing.
Sylvia
So,
as well, the
it's never
S15 or
a
whatever you want to
missed.
call it.
Yeah, it's never a missed opportunity because they're still working on it. They're still updating it. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, there's literally. I think there's going to be an update dropping at the day of this recording. So,
Oh,
like, I
oh,
think because 1.9 is currently out, but they're gonna like drop 2.0 and they're gonna make some more visual changes. So I'm gonna have to revert those, but it is what it is. Um,
yep.
but like you see with Ghost, let's say they added a ton more engine swaps to vehicles, and you're like, man, the S13 and the Civic didn't get them. Um, well, that's just it. Like you're so fortunate to have even gotten engine swaps instead of a chat wheel, which obviously that's the reverse of what could have and what did happen. Um, you would not expect anything to be done there, but
That's
like
grief.
you can give feedback, and you know what? Okay, maybe being real here, one of my favorite parts about the whole mod is actually not about the mod itself, but the community. Let me tell you guys, I was once in Gzilla's server. I think he's still
Yep.
around on YouTube. I think maybe he's still working on mods. This has nothing to do with him, but his community. I don't know how it happened. Well, honestly, I have an inkling. I can kind of guess what happened. Um, it is so cancerous just talking to these people. I have lost brain cells, and I will never reach the state of mental awareness as I once was.
Vegetative state.
I was asking a
You needed
question.
it.
I just wanted to maybe we'll just meet some people there. Cool, whatever. So I asked a question saying, would you guys prefer I think it was something like if cops were way faster and they kept up with you and more spawned, but you didn't have car damage, or the way it currently is, but with things slightly adjusted. So maybe everything is the way it is, but cops are slightly faster, or you take more damage. Something like that. Just a random
Hmm,
generic hypothetical
okay.
question, just like spark some conversation. And the first thing that happened was like 3 12-year-olds replied like, "Bro, why would you want to make the cops harder and then make them easier?" by removing damage, and then like 3 laughing crying emojis in a row. It was
Harder than
really bad.
easier. Fucking vermin.
I
What does
don't
that mean?
I don't think like just because you make one aspect of something easier and another aspect of another thing harder
Daft
doesn't
Punk
mean
song right
it's
there.
contradictory. That's actually how balance is created, but I think that's outside of their vocabulary, so my bad. You have to hit like I think you learned the word balance in like maybe kindergarten or first grade, so my bad. Obviously they wouldn't have had the experience to do
No,
that.
education maybe not.
Yeah, yeah. But with Unite, generally, I found it that a lot of people aren't so big headed, and you know, a lot of people who mod video games, I've noticed, they seem to really think they make like a massive contribution to society. Like they really, really feel this great sense of importance, and that leads to an overinflated ego. You won't find that here. A lot of people that I found on the server, I was able to ask a question like that or something like that, and get some opinions and some discussion and conversation, rather than whatever the heck happened last time.
Nice.
There's a
That's
lot
good to
less
hear, man.
arrogance. Honestly, genuinely, that's one of my favorite parts about the whole mod is actually just the community surrounding it. It's way less toxic and cancerous and ridiculous. You're not going to lose brain cells talking to the people here. They're great. Again, there were one other thing that I thought was odd. The Lamborghini Murcielago, it uses the sound from Carbon, except I think it uses the LP640 sound, and this is really on black boxes. Like they shouldn't have done this, but the LP640 sounds like the Lamborghini Gallardo, so it sounds like a V10. Really, really peculiar. Uh, you know, I feel like people forget that black box weren't perfect by any means. If we want to talk about engine sounds in black box, let me remind you
Oh,
the
fascinating.
some cars were really nice sounding, but then some things just make you scratch your head. In Need for Speed Most
Honestly,
Wanted, oh, go ahead.
honestly, I think the most of the bass sounds in the Heat are really good
They are, yeah,
because
they actually are
I'm
really,
sure
really
they
good.
still, I'm sure they still record them from the car directly, like
Yeah,
other games like to do.
yeah. But like the changes that they've made, I do appreciate them actually. But like with the Murcielago, again, I don't really think it was their fault. I just think they went in Carbon and looked for a Murcielago and they saw, oh, it's the LP640. That would make sense. I mean, like the real car in the game is the LP670, so maybe it's somewhat closer to that. So, what happened is, um, in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, if you bought a Lamborghini Gallardo stock, it sounds amazing. I mean, like the way the V10 roars, it's awesome. When you upgrade it, it starts to sound like a V12. I don't understand. The Lamborghini Murcielago sounds like V12. I don't remember if there's a disparity between when it's upgraded in stock, but I think it does in the end sound like a V12. In Carbon, the Murcielago has a slightly different bass engine sound, but upgraded it'll sound like a V12. The Gallardo, when stock sounds like a V12, but when upgraded sounds like a V10. So I guess it's swapped from you
Makes
gotta
sense,
remember.
like just like in real life. You put an exhaust on it, it makes it
Yeah,
sound like an RB26.
yeah, exactly.
Ah,
You know,
fascinating.
Black Box isn't perfect. You gotta remember that people like idolize those developers. Like, yes, they
The
made some
one,
amazing
honestly,
games, and
honestly, I think realistically they're kind of like average at best.
you're
Cause
not
like
wrong. You're not wrong. We're not like because truth to be told, we're not really asking for like the best, like over the top, like crazy, talent. Like a basic game that works. Give us a story that's decent, some customization,
not
a
cringe
nice
as well.
map. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, honestly, like Most Wanted Underground, Carbon and stuff, the story was pretty, you know what I'm saying?
they're
So
still okay. I think
it
they're
was
better
okay.
than
It was
like the modern
manageable.
ones anyway.
Like
Yeah.
that's like we're just it's like 2015. You look at 2015 and you think what went wrong? The atmosphere perfect, the story. Yeah, it was cringe, but the story was somewhat realistic and it made you feel like you're actually just like a street racer. doing street racing things. But lo and behold, then the story ends in like there's no main antagonist. The cops are awful. The handling model is unbelievably terrible. There's no PvP on launch. On and on, and it's just like, or
Perfect.
honestly,
That's the best
dude,
combination.
I would just like to have just a mediocre Need for Speed game. I'm so starved. Like, just give me just a mediocre Need for Speed game, and that'll beat like
I'm
over half the
starved.
series.
Man,
Oh
that's
my
but
gosh,
unlucky.
man.
Yeah, I feel the same way, to be fair.
Oh
Like, just give me anything at this. Just give me something decent.
yeah. Um, you know,
Feels better, man.
weird transition of topics, but recently in Cyberpunk they added like a Porsche or something like that, and I say this in part because someone in the racing community, I don't remember who, but I saw them on Twitter saying like, "Wow, like the Cyberpunk guys are like it appears that like they're doing everything right," and as someone in the racing community, if only there was something like that for us. You know, it's like the Crew 2 comes out, the graphics are better, but then they added boats and planes, and the story is awful. Oh man, Forza Horizon 4 added seasons and everything. The physics and handling model is amazing, but there's still no story, no progression, no purpose. You know, a lot of people are looking forward to Cyberpunk Soul. I think you're pretty like heavily anticipating it.
Yeah. Before my hype was a bit down, but since seeing the
Yeah,
trailer and just looking at information about it, I think it's back up. Like basically
yeah.
this week, as you probably don't know much about it. I do a
Hmm.
TLDR, so it's a trailer about the cars in the game and how they
Hmm.
got them, and it's probably better than some racing game developers now. They like
Oh,
recorded cars like with like microphones in every part of the car to get a realistic
Oh,
sound.
interesting. Dang.
The cars have a crazy attention to detail. They look really good
Yeah.
and they all sound unique. And I'm pretty sure, like in the trailer, there was a skyline as well. So I'm pretty like,
Really? Wow. Okay, that's
yeah.
interesting.
And I'll be 26. I'm pretty interested to see what car that in the
You
game
know,
that'll be based off one. And it just got me really hyped because they put a lot of, I said that they put a lot of attention in it,
attention to
and I want to
detail.
see how that plays into the final game because they said there's going to be street racing.
Oh
All cars
gosh.
will feel different from like
street
the
racing in Cyberpunk, man.
from like the cheap bangers to like the expensive supercars like Bugattis and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything. So I just can't wait to see what happens. And also, there's like interior. I think you can have a garage where you can put all them in there. That
Mm.
you can obviously you can drive from first person, and the interiors are pretty cool from what we saw. But
Yeah.
again, there's not too much, so I can't say it's better than Need for Speed or Forza or
Yeah.
whatever,
Of
or
course. Of course.
because there's not
Yeah, that's just
information. But
jumping
this
from
looks really, really
conclusions.
cool, and you can tell they put the heart and soul. And
Yeah.
also in the in the video as well, Keanu Reeves, I think, is a motorbike company, and one of the bikes from there is going to be in the game, and they're talking about
Interesting.
how they did that as well. And again, it's just really cool and a nice attention to detail, and it shows they actually care about the game. So I just
Yeah.
can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really happy about it.
Um.
Yeah, so that's my take on it. I just
Yeah.
think hope it's going to be good,
I
and that's it. Yeah,
I was like among my friends, I was one of the few people who wasn't all too excited about the game. But that's just I have weird tastes in video games, and like you guys, if you've been longtime listeners, then you probably are very aware of that. Um, but uh, I am actually like hearing about some of the things you just mentioned. I am slightly intrigued now. Um, I'm not gonna pull the trigger at a full price release. I mean, granted, they probably deserve it, and the game itself is probably deserving of that kind of
yeah.
like value to it. But for me, I don't know yet. But
To be
I'm
fair,
actually
you
leaning
can
towards
get
getting
it
it on
from
sale.
CD. You can get it from CD key sites for like 35, I think now. Like
Mm,
on, but
yeah, I
but
don't know. Like,
but that's only on, on GOG, not on Steam or whatever. So it's up
uh,
to you.
yeah, I
And some
mean,
other cool
still
thing of that announced yesterday thing, if you buy it from the GOG store, you get some exclusive online comic or something like a short story about
interesting.
the actual world or whatever it is. So that's something else to
World
think
building.
about, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool, man, to see what
Um.
happens.
I almost want to get it off GOG just to support the devs because I think they get like 100% of the stuff because
Yeah,
GOG is owned by CD Projekt Red if I remember correctly, or
yeah.
something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I am slightly intrigued now. I didn't think I was going to be, but we'll have to see. But for people who are anticipating the game, it really does seem like everything is going to end out pretty well. But I would still just be very cautious about being hyped, because there reaches a point where like a game will never amount to the amount of hype that it has going for it, and I'm afraid Cyberpunk might have gone down that route.
I think so to some people at least, because it's
Yeah,
not going
some
to be like something crazy as you think it is. Like I've been gassed for Need for Speed and then paid £70
yeah,
and then like realized it was a loss and
yeah,
literally
exactly.
burnt. The money was like burnt,
Yeah,
wasting money.
with Heat, I remember I was in some Discord server. I was with you guys and some other guys, and we were gonna check out like Heat's reveal trailer live. And remember,
I was
everyone,
I was
yeah,
Cam server.
that was RIP that server. That
Got
was
beated.
like I remember everyone basically sounded pretty like not excited, but you see, I think
Everyone was hyped for like a second until they actually saw it. Then it was
yeah,
oh, it's a bit
yeah,
weird.
I was just hyped
I'm
with
sure
the
even
boys, honestly.
yeah. That's
yeah,
Because I
the
remember
other
I,
thing.
I
Like
wasn't in that
like
server
10
for
people in there.
ages. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit, might as well just go back. Yo, Cam,
yeah,
toss me the link.
yeah. Um, And like I think one of the reasons why I'm actually like I think I enjoy Heat a little bit more than some of the fan base who's part of the fan base who's really frustrated with it. I think part of the reason was I didn't really have high expectations out of it. I knew what happened with Payback, and my eyes were opened to the travesty of 2015.
Whew.
I still love Need for Speed 2015. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying. But because of that, I wasn't that let down. Of course, I've been frustrated. I've been frustrated on this podcast before about Need for Speed Heat.
yeah.
But with Project Unite, and in the other mods, I guess no longer regret my purchase. I could say that. Definitely try it out. Definitely try out the mod and the other mods and stuff like that. And like messing around with it is just really fun in general. The next thing I want to bring up, Rockstar recently acquired the people who made Crackdown 2. And they said that they
Oh,
rebranded it, and according to some job listings, the studio is now working on a new game for Rockstar or a port of existing games. So, what are the odds of a Midnight Club remaster? Okay, it
Still
might be
0 out of 10.
unlikely. It might be unlikely. Just let me hope. Just let me have just like a little bit of a little spark,
hope,
please, please,
man.
man,
Please, begging,
dude.
mate. It's crazy.
If they remastered
Oh, yeah,
L.A.,
I buff. Funny
oh my
enough,
gosh,
I'll
oh,
my like little nephews came over and they're
yeah,
like taking turns like whenever they'll total the car Midnight Club LA. So yeah, get the
dude. Okay,
youngers into it.
you know what?
Spread the gospel.
Even if they gave it
Wait,
the
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere said this going to help Rockstar with the online services. So I'm guessing just with GTA Online, keep that alive while the other
yeah,
ones actually
maybe,
work on new games or whatever. I don't think they're going to work on into something new, especially from a
yeah.
new developer company thing.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. But like, can we just imagine
It's
for a
cool,
few
but
moments
just
a
remember,
world,
in my opinion,
a
Living in a
parallel
fantasy land.
a parallel universe in which Midnight Club is alive and well. If we got an LA remaster, now, you know what? If it got the Hot Pursuit 2010 treatment, I'd be all right. Because what's weird is I don't remember like Midnight Club LA is a very very good looking game for its age for 2008 for a somewhat early PlayStation 3 and 360 game. It looks pretty darn good. Um, up the res, you know, if they upped like if they gave it the Hot Pursuit 2010 treatment, they barely like affected anything at all. They basically just upped the res and
yeah,
gave
one thing I'd
crossplay.
want to change are the engine sounds because I'm sure they were the one
Oh
original
yeah,
to the game.
dude. Like I know. Okay, as someone who loves Midnight Club and considers it a superior series to Need for Speed, and is like you can watch our older episode on basically the Midnight Club episode where it was nothing but high praise.
Oh,
The engine sounds are hot garbage in base in every Midnight Club game I ever remember. Hot garbage, complete trash. None of the cars sound any like realistic at all. Uh, some of the sounds scratch my head. It's not the end of the world, though. I still extremely enjoy the games because it's like a work of art. Um, but if they remastered it and worked on the engine sounds, I would be really, really excited about that. Um, but also, like, just to have the game on PC and have it be crossplay, to experience the multiplayer again, dude. Oh my gosh. I didn't experience much of the multiplayer before the servers got shut down. I All I remember was I played on PS3 for a little bit. I had a used copy on PS3. It would crash anytime I tried to use the rate my ride feature, so I just ended up avoiding that. But if it was back and you can like buy cars off people and you can make money by like building cars and then making really cool exclusive designs, and then people have to go on Rate My Ride, find your car design and then buy it off of you, stuff like that. Also the quest for the Audi R8, there was that. I never got around to that, but I heard of it. Man, like let's be real here. There's probably like a 1% chance Rockstar would consider reviving Midnight Club with this new studio. But if only. If only.
If that's the case, we need to make a petition. All
Yeah.
all 10 of you guys watch the video, please
Yeah. Yeah, they'll definitely do
do
that.
something.
Um, yeah. Soul, you mentioned that you recently experienced what was it? Call of Duty, the next one? Cold War, something like
Yep,
that? And you had
Cold
some
War.
thoughts on
Yep.
it. So what'd you think?
Okay, so before that, I looked at people playing it, like Cam's videos, did some gameplay of it. I thought it
Yeah.
looked cool, and he said it's like the old Call of Duty and stuff like that, and I was pretty hyped because I haven't played many, but the ones I did, like Black Ops One, I think that's probably the
Yeah.
only one, honestly.
Hmm.
It's really good, and I went into it and thought it's about, and then because the free online weekend thing it's like from, I think it started from yesterday or
Yeah.
today, or I can't remember depending. But
Something
anyway, I
like
got
that.
into it, and the first thing was the graphics is really nice and everything like was popular and really pleasing.
Yeah.
And obviously with playing it, it felt really really like the old ones. But what
Interesting.
this was quite a refreshing thing, like something new yet old. But one thing
Yeah.
I did, some of the first things I noticed, I didn't like the weight of the guns. Like
Mm.
they didn't have that much weight to it compared to Modern Warfare. But then again, I think that was like the old Call of Duties, but I haven't played all of them, so can't say.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't like some weird animations. Like normally, when you throw a grenade in the game, it's like instant, but here it's about a second or two delay, which I'm sure
I
got me
think it
killed
might
once
have
or
been a
twice.
game design choice. Like maybe they're like,
Yeah, I
okay,
think
you
so,
have
but
to actually like be, you can't just, like I don't know, like spam a grenade or something. I don't know. All right. I don't play COD,
yeah.
but that could have been a game design choice. So you have to
The
be a little
thing
bit
is,
more wise
I
with the
can't say
grenades.
100% because I only played for like about an hour, a bit less. But I
Yeah.
think there was a bit of spam because like I kept getting exploded quite a few times with like artillery and stuff like that from like
Yeah.
people like killing people a lot and
Hmm.
stuff like that, and it just shafting the other team, which was obviously I was on.
Hmm.
And I think Audie said the guns didn't feel that weighty, so it just felt a bit weird. Like you
Bit
could be an
weird.
LMG and run really fast and aim fast,
Mm.
and I think that cut maybe made it a bit unbalanced. But again, I ain't played them much, so I can't say. But overall,
Yeah.
I think my initial impressions were like okay, but it's not something I'll probably get a launch. Maybe wait or just play the free Warzone bit if that
Yeah.
releases or
Yeah.
something or
Yeah.
whatever.
Same here, because the only COD I've ever owned is Warzone, I guess if you can call it that. Um, and I'm not, I don't play shooters. But I have another question. What about performance? How's performance?
performance, I thought it was alright at first, but then it started to dip like when those things
Mm.
went on like smoke and stuff. So it was loaded slightly, and it was
So a bit,
fine. So it's
but
about like the last game, but slightly better, I guess. But again, I've
okay,
only played
interesting.
for about an hour, so can't say.
Okay, because like the last one, I had to turn down a lot of things to get a frame rate that I wanted to play the game at. Um,
Yeah,
so I mean, like I was actually like, dude, with a GTX 10, I was playing things on low, which is probably it's I don't like that's some like
that's
that's
weird.
some CS:GO
I was,
player type stuff to like
I was going to say,
play everything
I'm
like
pretty
800
sure
by 600 to get
they
more
put more
frames.
time into Warzone. They put more
Yeah.
time into Warzone and all that stuff, and like
Mhm.
update it a lot. And in my opinion, I still think it feels balanced and the multiplayer in Modern Warfare. But
Yeah.
then they still don't optimize it, so it runs like just
Yeah,
runs
it
really
does.
bad, and it's not
Oh
that
gosh.
playable sometimes. But I think
Yeah.
now recently they started to improve it a bit, and mostly it's
Mhm.
good for except for some small parts of the map or whatever. So it's
Yeah,
probably improved a bit since
it
you
might
have,
have been.
and but I guess I haven't optimized it for the lower end anyway. I'm not
Yeah, no,
like a
definitely
laptop, as
haven't.
you said.
Yeah, I really don't think I'm gonna be able to like even play the game on my laptop. Or, like I'll maybe at like minimum settings, 1080p. I'll get like maybe like 45 to 60 frames a second, something like that.
I
Anyways,
think for COD though, that kind of ruins the experience because it's like so low. You have to be
yeah,
higher. I'm pretty sure to get a decent advantage.
yeah. I mean, I really, I don't play shoot. Play shooters very rarely, but I would prefer to have at least like 110 or higher or something like that. Like that's just like a level at which point it's enjoyable to me. I don't really care about the competitive advantage because I really suck, but like it's just more enjoyable at that level. Now, one thing that they did, they allowed you to delete certain portions of whatever the current one that's out is called.
Yeah, Modern
Like
Warfare.
yeah, you can
Oh, you mean like the single player or co-op and
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, but you know what's funny? You can't do that before you pick what you want to install. You have to download the whole thing and then you delete later. So I actually
Huh?
cannot install.
Well, wait. I think you can go around it, but I'm not too sure. Like, let's say you start the download, and then you pause it,
Mm,
then you go
no,
and
I
then
can't. I can't
choose to
even.
delete the
So
things
I
there.
can't even
But then,
start. I can't even start the download unless I'm on my
oh,
desktop PC. Right on my desktop PC, I got plenty of storage, but on here, I have a 220 gig SSD as my boot drive. Um, and I've got
my
61 gigs free.
condolences.
61 gigs
Oh,
free.
y-
Yeah. If I cleared
yeah.
out everything, no, if I cleared out, if I reinstalled Windows so that I'd lose like like all the portion that to updates and so on and so forth. My gosh, I would still not have enough storage. And like
That's
also there's stuff I need to
scary.
have. Like, dude, let me just check in one of my folders here, and I think it's in documents. I have something that's like 18 gigabytes, and I kind of need to. I'm trying to find it. I don't know why I'm struggling to find the folder. Okay, right here. It's one thing. It's for SolidWorks, which is the AutoCAD software. No, it's 8 gigabytes. Okay, but that's still like I've got stuff. I can't really compromise on stuff for Call of Duty, and the fact that
What's
they would almost allow you to pick what you want before, but then they didn't. Like they like if I had enough storage to just download it and then delete the stuff later, but I don't even have
it's
enough
jumping
storage.
through
So
stupid hoops, man. Like,
yeah,
on Steam, that wasn't an issue, but they moved to
yeah,
Battle.net. I'm guessing to get more money
yeah. I
and
guess so.
to ruin the experience for the customers.
Yeah, I mean like it's Activision. Activision does as Activision does. You know, it's actually weird. Side tangent. For a while, I didn't know that Activision published Call of Duty. This is like years and years ago. I'd always like when I hear Activision, I would think of like their games in like the Atari 2600 or something like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, that retro game company. Wait, what? They own Call of Duty? So I just remembered that being like a very like shocking moment. What the heck? Um, yeah, complete side tangent, but I just thought that was really funny. Um, so actually, I guess if we can wait, Stelia, have you experienced the beta of Cold War or whatever the heck it was?
Oh no, I haven't
You haven't?
actually played
Okay.
it yet.
All
I've
right.
been
Well,
watching Gamer play it, and it looks
mm,
really fucking good.
yeah. Um. So in that case, I guess let's just move on to the next one. So this one is a little bit more, I guess, maybe personal
Close to
or
home.
whatever the heck. There are less and less
Yeah.
cars are being imported to the UK because of emissions and stuff like that. Has that ever deterred you in like certain like have you ever been like, oh man, I was gonna get that car, but now I'm not gonna be able to, or anything like that? Even if not in the immediate future, but like, man, I would really like to have such and such car one day in the future, and now you're not gonna be able to do that.
Honestly, not really, because the stuff I like are the older stuff on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's true. That's true.
Japanese stuff. It's sad
Yeah,
to see, because that means a lot of manufacturers won't be giving the. I'm good because of laws. I'm sure they're gonna ban petrol and diesel in the near future, and
yeah.
soon. And that means we're not gonna get these last kind of these
ICE.
petrol and diesel cars, which we which are which again, it's just, what's that word?
You know,
We,
it's
we, we just won't. It's like the kind of final bit of an era, I'd say.
yeah,
I'm missing
yeah,
out
it kind
on,
of
which
is.
is quite
Oh
sad to see.
man, we live at the
Yeah,
end of an era, petrol era.
yeah.
Jeez,
Um, it's extremely unfortunate, but
enjoy it, boys. Enjoy it while you
I
can.
I know it just has to happen. It's just one of those things for the environment and everything else. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? Um, yeah,
I think we should
Lexus.
move to Zogan, because they got like another few million,
Oh
million
yeah,
years
of
of
course.
petrol and diesel and other. Yeah,
Yeah, let's just go to another planet and ruin their atmosphere with our cars. Honestly though,
so, honestly, that's
uh,
worth it. Hashtag worth it.
yeah. So I'm reading this article headline: Lexus ceases UK imports of the CTIS and RC. The RCF is still up for grabs, so that's cool. But the 400Z is also not coming to the UK. Um, Pretty unfortunate. Soon that's gonna start happening all over the world. Uh, and yeah,
And
things are weird, man.
you guys are right though, because of like your laws and stuff a lot more
Yeah, we're
easy.
like, especially because I live in the state of Texas. Like, we're definitely good, but I don't really know how things are gonna go for the environment. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a
That's the
weird
Fun
thing.
thing.
fact about electric cars: to mine the lithium, it's actually leaves
Apparently,
more
yeah,
of a carbon footprint.
I've
Yeah,
heard that it does, but apparently
yeah, the mining
they're
process.
I'm
If they
it
lower
I'm
doesn't
it,
sure
then
do that
it's all good.
anymore, is what I've heard.
I, I, I'm sure it still
Don't quote
uses
me
a
on
lot
that.
more resources at the start, but overall, after like 20,
Yeah,
30 years, it uses a lot less.
it's
Something
the
like that.
long
Yeah,
game. It's the long game.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and like they wouldn't have to like necessarily like use uh, lithium ion. It can like just any other two metals that they can pick to have an electric potential between them. Whatever, make your batteries however you
Yeah.
want. Um,
Thing
so I guess they
do you
can.
think? Thing is, I think we'll be right though, because there are some cool electric cars now, so I don't think they're
Yeah,
gonna be boring or crappy, just like a lot of people possibly think they are. So
yeah.
honestly,
As
I
long as
can't
they
wait
can
to
hoon,
see
I
what
don't
happens.
care.
Yeah,
It's
like
weird to think about, but I think 20 or so years into the future. What I mean, no, not 20 years from now. I mean, um, once every new car to be sold is electric, 20 years after that, I think we're going to see cars with a fake manual transmission, a clutch pedal that doesn't need
that's
to be
gonna be
there,
weird, man.
and like
Yeah, but
it'll
that's gonna be
generate
weird.
fake engine sounds. Yeah, it'll be weird, but I think that's going to have to
I've
happen.
always thought about that. How do you generate fake engine sounds? Like
Yeah.
honestly, as long as it hoons rear wheel
Tesla
drive and
already
spin
do.
it, let's go.
And like,
But
here's
Yeah.
the thing, with the whole idea of it, like having a clutch, it doesn't have to be a fake clutch. I mean, you can still have like an electric motor power, like honestly, you can have an electric motor power a crankshaft, um, and have the rest of all it has to do is like basically a battery powers like a honestly I don't know how an electric motor works in terms of like what a car motor would use, but like in terms of a DC motor, it's basically like you just have a magnet, and in that magnet you have like a coil of
Yeah.
wire, and then like there's current travels around it, and then there's a certain thing in physics. It's really interesting. It causes like an electromagnetic force. So it like physically spins the coil because there's current in it
Yeah.
sitting in a magnetic field. It's really cool. And then it's connected to these things, like to this like segmented ring with like these brushes by it. And then as soon as the segments hit a different part, it like reconnects the circuit of current and flips the current, but keeps like the spinning of the. So like you do that, hook that up to a
Honestly, I have no
crankshaft.
idea what you just said, but that sounds
Yeah.
cool. Also, one
Oh,
I
I
want to say
know.
this a lot more basic and stuff. Like it be like electric cars will be sick for the city, especially like in the UK where
oh
you
yeah.
have small roads and stuff like that. They're
Um,
crazy amount of torque, so
I
it gets
was
to be more fun, I guess, for some people.
I was saying, I really in the future I wouldn't mind having an electric car as like a daily driver. I honestly think it's a really nice daily driver to have. You start it up or whatever. Uh, it's silent, which maybe
Now,
if you're like you don't want to.
not aren't going to be silent because of laws that you have to like make it heard so you can't accidentally run over some poor
Ah,
person
yeah,
on the
that's
road.
true. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like as a car enthusiast, the silence isn't a plus point for me. It's actually the opposite. But like, if you want to just
Also,
like,
wouldn't it sound really weird, like on the motorway or something, where you just hear
yeah,
the air going around you? That'd be
oh my
quite, in
gosh,
my
yeah,
opinion, that would feel quite scary if you think about it.
that's gonna feel surreal.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even used the word correctly. Anyways, what the heck was I saying? Like I guess a silent car could help if you're like if you live in New York and you have to deal with the traffic there. I'm pretty sure like like having less noise is probably gonna,
Get rid of
I don't know, get rid of the headache that the traffic is gonna cause you otherwise.
yeah,
That
it reduces
plus
noise pollution and stuff like that,
yeah.
especially like as you said in places like New York where like you hear beeps and the
Oh
sounds of
gosh,
different engines and all
yeah,
that
that's
kind of stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
probably make because it's gonna make driving like really a lot better. You obviously you can't stall an electric car because no one builds one with a manual transmission. Um, you know, all it needs to do is get from point A to point B. It doesn't matter that it doesn't have a lot of like the you know how electric cars they'll start off like launching extremely quickly with near instant torque and then it sort of tapers off. You don't need to.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a performance car. You just need to get to Walmart, and then when you get home, plug it in. You don't have to like make sure you hit the gas station on the way there or on the way back. You just go home, go plug in your car to charge it, and there you
Talking
go.
about stuff like electric cars, it could like usher in. People want to make self-drive cars, and it. I think
Yeah,
that'll usher in a new type of it, but I think it'll take away from people who want to drive and stuff like that,
yeah,
and it
that's
might
true.
become boring or whatever. As well
Um,
as safety issues, where like I wouldn't want to let a robot decide how to drive my
oh, of
car on the
course.
road. That's scary if you think about
It
it.
is scary, but the thing is with these robots and like the AI and everything, like the only times there's been car crashes involving electric vehicles that are I guess aimed to be autonomous in testing. I think the only cases it's been was because of like an external force, like some other driver was drunk or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If everybody on the road is in a self-driving car, there's probably a chance that it'll be somewhat safe. But yeah, no, I
Also,
definitely do get what you're talking about.
this is a
Um,
kind of another point, but do you think
yeah.
it's more likely for your car to be hacked or something because it's all electric and has a CPU and
Uh,
all that stuff? I think
I
that's some
don't
not.
know. I recently learned apparently that an ECU and a car engine is almost like just a data acquisition system, like a DAC, but it has like a user interface and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Stelio, I don't know if that's right or not. Um, there's not really a whole like a.
Depends on the type of ECU. That's usually
That's true.
base OEM, like from the factory ECU.
Yes.
Because
Yeah, no,
my
that's what
one
I
is
mean.
factory.
Yeah.
My car's a fucking Frankenstein. To be fair, it's a 16 valve like red top. It has blue top like Seavet. Tivas. It has a T50. Like this car was, ugh. And then you got to add in things like the fucking. Oh man, with the ECU, yeah, 16 valve red top. It's for a 20 valve silver top. That's an automatic. Mine's
Oh,
not.
interesting.
nice.
So it's like, yeah, this thing.
Hmm.
This was Frankenstein's Hoon mobile. We've
Yeah.
owned this.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, so so maybe the reason why, or let me rephrase. Let me think about what I'm going to say. I think to answer your question, yes, there probably could be a greater chance that cars could be hacked, so to speak, because I really think unless you have like a, I don't know, unique ECU, I'm fairly certain because it's almost just a data acquisition system with like a basically like an Arduino with some things hooked up
Yeah.
to it, and you can go modify the, I don't know, the air fuel ratio and stuff like that. You'd probably not be able to control them that much now.
Oh, okay.
Like because
I know one
like
thing
like
on my
Fast and
car.
Furious and like there's like one
Yeah.
scene
Oh,
on
we're
the Fast
talking about that. Need to
they
Payback had a part of that in the story,
oh
which is
gosh,
quite
yeah. In
sad
the
to think
story,
about.
there's like a AI
They
controlled
said
vehicle or something.
they said
But
that
yeah,
there were shit drivers and and they used a robot or something to make him win races and stuff like
yeah.
that.
But
Some
like
weird.
the AI wasn't any harder than it already was, which is really easy. It didn't make sense, but whatever. Um, you know, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's unrealistic for movies to do that. Just because it has ECU, that's a computer part. Okay, well let's have it self drive,
Cargo
even if
vroom.
it's not. you know and granted, I would have thought that that would be possible like years and years ago, so no judgment here, but because cars with ECUs are basically just cars with a data acquisition system. I think if you have them be self-driving and fully electric, the AI part of it, I don't know how it would work, but yeah, I guess that could be a concern. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, if everyone has a self-driving vehicle and one guy hacks like 30 of them at the same time, do you have any idea how much wreckage that would be?
Oh
Because,
my,
you know,
that's
dude,
chaos.
you
Burn
see,
at Paradise style levels, man. Burn at Takedown.
yeah,
True.
um,
Unironically,
yeah, you see, I feel like we're gonna reach a
we
point
are the
where,
lazy generation starts playing on every
oh
car.
gosh, oh, that's the thing of nightmares in real life. Um, you see, I
Mm.
bet years and years after autonomous vehicles start arriving, that they're not gonna have steering wheels anymore or even gas pedals. It'll just be like you push a
That's
button to turn it on, you tell it to get to your destination, and it just gets there. It might
the
be
thing
like
is. If
that.
you think it's a bit of an L for the people who imagine like just passing your driving license, your driving
Oh
test, then
gosh,
you get your
yeah,
license, and then you realize, oh, I can't even drive the car or something like that.
yeah.
That's an L, man.
Yeah.
I feel
I
sorry
mean,
for
like,
people.
eventually, I think getting a driver's license is going to be a niche thing. You see, I think motorsports will always be there because it's a skill
Mm.
and everything else.
Not really. Everything's starting to move towards electric.
No, no, I mean, but
Oh
there
yeah,
still is.
Uh,
Like, you
you
still
remember that?
drive and
Have you seen that?
control the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're
oh
not
yeah,
gonna.
hell no.
So,
That's
Like,
actually unironically watching AI.
yeah,
oh, okay.
no, I mean, like, yeah, the
That's quite.
cars are electric, but the people are still controlling them,
No, no, no,
Like,
no, no. I thought you meant like there's no people driving the cars. No, I
oh
was saying
I
gosh,
that.
thought
Yeah,
you meant
no,
like some
that would
some
not.
I
Black
thought you meant
Mirror.
like everything's moving. Like there'd still be
No,
like non-electrics in motorsport.
no,
So now everything is starting to move away. It's actually
oh
wild.
gosh.
It really is the
Yeah,
end of an era in that regard.
yeah.
That's, yeah, everything's
Um,
changing, man. Don't know if it's better or good or worse, but it's changing.
well, I mean, like if we're gonna be completely real here, it's better for the environment, but it's worse for our passionate car enthusiasts. And
Yep.
that's like, I guess it's a tough pill to swallow, but like, what are we gonna do about it? Governments have already made up their mind. I think Germany by 2040 or 2030 are gonna ban the sale of petrol and diesel cars, and I think in the UK it's 10 years more or less, something like that.
The
Um,
thing is, I know there'll be some dodgy people who will
yeah,
try to get around that in weird ways. I know there'll always be
yeah.
that'd be quite funny to like witness.
It's unfortunate what's happening, but I know it has to happen. It's just one of those things. Um, what can you do about
Also,
it?
one thing would have to make it affordable for everyone because right now a lot of
Oh,
electric
right.
cars are still very expensive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
like you can't get any for just a few thousand. The normal costs like 10,000 or more, which some people,
Yeah, that's
especially young
still,
people, probably can't get. Yeah.
yeah. Um, that's a very good point. And there is I wonder if at what point will we have petrol and diesel cars banned, even already existing ones? Um, that might happen because the sale of new vehicles is going to have to be electric, but you can still purchase an older, uh, you know, car with an ICE. But at what point are we going to see things where you're not even going to be able to, get your hands on an older vehicle? That's going to be ridiculous. Um, I don't even know, dude. If I can't get my hands on a Lotus Elise because of this, man, that's going to be disappointing.
It just feels bad.
Yeah, that's one of my
You
goal cars.
You probably could get one's EV swap it or something. That'd be some
Yeah,
pretty interesting.
yeah.
You get
Honestly,
a car that weighs as much as like nothing.
yeah, that would honestly be interesting. But who knows? What if laws are so ridiculous that will look well because of the fact that it currently has an engine, you won't be able to swap it because you won't be able to own it to be able to swap it. You know what I'm saying? One of those things.
Guess you have to buy one now and just put it in a garage somewhere.
Yeah, let me buy one now and just go into debt. Man. Yeah. Now, honestly, there is one thing I want to mention. So it is possible, like, if you had the money, you could still get those cars, but you just have to import them, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would still do that because in the
Oh
UK
yeah,
the laws are not like stupid like some around the world. We have to wait quite a
yeah.
few
In the
decades.
US, you have to wait like what is it, 20, 25 years? It's
Yeah, that's
absurd.
scary.
It's
That's sad.
ridiculous. We still
Yeah,
can't get
yes.
R34s, I don't think, right?
It costs I
Right?
think so.
Let me see.
That's quite sad.
Okay, because weren't there R34 GTRs in like 1999?
The latest one came out in 2002, so
Yeah, for that one,
Yeah,
it
they
had
started in
gone well.
1999.
like when you're about
Wow.
30, then you'll be able to get any of them, which is quite a sad thing to think about for you. But yeah, most of the time you can import stuff. You just have to make sure like it's safe for UK roads and you customize it or whatever. If it's not, and you have to pay quite a few fees and all that, but you still can get it.
Interesting. So I'm actually checking this out. Apparently, there's a way you can get a 21-year-old car as opposed to a 25-year-old car. A 21-year-old car does not have to have EPA requirements for import inspection. Um, but a 25-year-old car can enter the U.S. without complying with the Department of Transportation and Vehicle Safety standards and stuff like that. So I guess that's where like the difference is made. You can bring an unsafe vehicle over, quote unquote unsafe, depending on the laws in the U.S. If it's 25 years or older, and but you can, if it does comply, it can be only 21 years. I didn't know about that. I
No,
thought it
that's
had to
true.
be 25. Interesting.
The funny thing is, a lot of these cars probably more safe than what you'll see sold in the US, like those shitty GM cars from back in the day.
Disagree.
I'm, pre-
Disagree.
I'm pretty sure.
Modern
No, these cars
technology.
are built like rocks.
No,
Modern
I'm sure from back.
technology.
I said from back in the day, like
Oh, okay.
from
Oh yeah, no,
same
those
day.
those things were the problem was they were built like rocks.
Yeah, you see,
And the
like, dude,
problem
if you,
that was they had no crumple, you just fucking died.
yeah, if you
Yeah, because
had like an American car in
Japanese
the,
cars, even back then, are pretty sick. But
Yeah.
No,
now,
no,
I
they'll
think a lot.
no, they'll beef traps. No, they'll have beef traps.
No,
I don't.
Oh.
so
I would fucking
so
die in a
stuff like
crash from that thing.
yeah,
even
Um,
so, I'm sure. Like, so Japanese cars from the 90s were shit then.
No, they weren't shit. It's just like they weren't insanely safe, but they were just safer than like everything else.
yeah.
Which is like,
Like it's at a baseline, it's still not safe, but it's safer than the
Oh.
competition. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Oh,
American.
I take it back.
Some guys I know are talking about how in the 80s or not in like the 70s, it would be a decent idea to get an American car. But then when the 80s and 90s hit, it's like actually, I think I'm just gonna wait until they're not pieces of garbage, because I think they started to worry about like imports and other things, kind of like stealing competition. And like, okay, we have to make these more cheaply to make them
From what I've seen, like,
inexpensive.
what's if you, unfortunately, for American YouTubers like buy cars from Copart, like, and a lot of them are old American cars, and they're crap in terms of build quality, like things start to fall off, like
Oh, yeah.
the dashboard starts to crack. I've never seen stuff like that happen in the UK with cars, but all the ones that do fuck up are the crappy cheap GM ones and other stuff.
Yeah.
think
I think a lot of that is just because in the 90s and I think maybe in the 80s and 90s, sometime around then, the build quality was atrocious. But like you could like honestly, it's weird. You'd be better off with the car from the 70s than in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, no,
Something like
yeah,
that is the case.
somehow they
a
got even
Japanese
more
car,
safe, yeah.
a Japanese car from that time better than the American counterparts in build quality.
I would
Um,
Because
not
that's
I,
say.
probably what.
yeah, no, they were. Like
They
they just
Oh,
probably
weren't
were.
like too much safer, but build quality like far superior. The 240Z
yeah.
around like multiple GP circuits is quicker than the 911 of that era. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
That's interesting.
But like reliability wise and everything else, I guess it was also
Yeah, reliability wise, it does blow it slightly out the water. It's like I would say mid 80s is when like they just got gapped completely in reliability. Like
mm,
Euro American to
Oh, okay. I think that's
yeah.
what I was probably referring to because it's been a while since I've looked at that. That's pretty interesting to know, man.
Yeah. But like nowadays, like American cars and stuff like that are reliable. And honestly, it's weird. Muscle cars can actually turn now. Muscle cars can actually turn now. Like a modern day
Yeah,
Mustang is not going to be that
yeah.
bad around a track. And because of
Oh yeah,
pricing, it really makes things
I've seen
competitive.
somewhere. I've seen somewhere where I think something the US said they're not as fun anymore because they're made for like like the more what you call it. They make them nice for like other countries drive like European countries and stuff,
Mm.
and they're not like as crazy like just
Mm,
massive engines
I
and
don't
bolts and
know.
stuff like that.
Like, 'cause you
I'm not
see,
I'm not
American cars,
too sure that that's so don't take that
they
as gospel.
still are like high power, per price and other stuff like that. Like, I mean, if you really want to, like, we have that option now. You can get an American car that can turn or an American car with a lot of power. Like, you can get a Hellcat if you want. Um, or maybe you can get like a Shelby, like a GT350R or like a 500 with all the aerodynamics and stuff like that, and it'll turn pretty nicely. Like the Dodge Viper ACR, rest in peace. But the ACR
The
had
thing about the
insane
Dodge Viper
downforce.
ACR, I will say, is that
Yeah.
was like pretty much not even remotely American. The thing was completely built like Delara.
Oh dang,
Like
I,
the
I
whole,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
if you don't know who Delara is, to give you some insight, they
Wait, Abel Abara? Who'd you say?
Delara,
I
one thing they
misheard. My bad.
they build they're the aerodynamics production for Ferrari, Haas, and Alfa Romeo's Formula One team.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
I did not know that.
oh yeah.
Makes sense.
They only used to make the what's it called? It's because Dallara is owned under Ferrari, Ferrari is owned under Fiat, and so is Dodge. So it's like a
Mm.
family.
Are you on about the Stradale, wherever it's called? Because that was on Top Gear last year and looked really cool.
Oh yeah, that was also on there. They also had like an F1 team in the 80s for a little bit. Wasn't too successful though. But then
Oh.
again, you look at the grid. It was like McLaren, Williams in that era. They were fucked. They made an active suspension that just like if you could go over bumps, then it was like you just weren't.
It just didn't do that. It just,
South Korea.
oh man.
That
Yeah.
sounds really interesting.
It's actually still more technological than any other F1 car we've seen.
Dang.
Okay.
Like
Holy
just
shit.
on a technological scale, like aerodynamic. Like these cars drive on the fucking wall with the amount of cheese they can produce.
Dang.
I was
No,
also
no,
gonna
actually,
say
on the
too,
roof, actually, yeah, that was the thing. Like that was like they generate X amount. I can't remember
The figure,
like
but yeah.
the actual kilogram like from their front end plates, rear end plates. They could pretty much drive on the roof in theory. If
Well,
like
yeah.
somehow you had a ramp where it could just drive up, yeah, it would stay up.
Oh
Like,
god.
Okay, it's like
That's
I
something that
see
you
why
would
you can
understand
take
in the
corners
fucking
at
game.
like fuck off speeds an hour.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
I was gonna
it's
say like
ridiculous.
the C8 is an American car that I actually like in quite a while because
Yeah.
like the re-engineered it where like it's now a midship and all that and it looks really cool
Yeah,
and it's like a European car.
honestly, actually, it's funny. For those same reasons, some of my friends and I have felt like a bit of a disconnection. We were talking about how, some things about the C8, I just can't put my finger on it. And then one of them said, it just doesn't quite feel like a Corvette. Like it doesn't quite look like a Corvette, like an idea of how the design language of the Corvette would evolve. And we're like,
I'm
yeah,
sure
it
the
looks like a European sports car, and that's not a bad thing. But like, we definitely did notice, Like the difference
Uh,
there in their styling and stuff like that, like some design cues and stuff.
the funny thing is, I'm sure Corvette wanted to make a midget back in the day, but they weren't able
Yes,
to
they
because of.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know about that. Yeah, that was crazy.
Who's the one guy like way back then? It was like a main designer for one
Was
of
it
the
in the
Corvettes.
60s or 60s, something like that, where they
I
wanted
don't
to try it for
remember.
the second or third gen or something.
Zora, I think, was either his name or his surname.
Zorro.
Zora, I think.
Yeah,
Who was
yeah,
it?
it was
Who
Zorro.
was it?
Yeah,
But in any
he
case,
was
yeah.
working on it at the time. I
I
know
think
that much.
it's because it just changed so much.
Oh
Like
yeah.
after being the same for a long time, you're not used to it. But
Mhm.
I think it's got loads of potential, man.
Oh
The only
no, it
one
definitely
weird thing I
does.
don't like about it, like in the middle of the what you call it, where the buttons are. I think they put too many buttons in that place where you can just do on the touch screen. That's right next to the wheel.
Yeah, maybe. That is one of the things. I honestly, I'm not even familiar with what the interior looks like, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
I looked at a few videos of it, and it's pretty interesting.
You know, dude,
Also, one other thing, like the price performance is pretty decent
the
for
price
a
per
new sports car like that.
performance. Yeah, I don't know how much money I would be able to make once I get out of college, and obviously that's a very personal matter, but genuinely, if this trend keeps up, by the time the C9 comes out,
Yes.
I might be able to afford a base model C9. I'm not saying, top of the line. I'm not saying a Z06. I'm not saying a Z01, but a base model C9, I might actually be able to afford that. And a lot of people would actually be able to afford that, and it would give you crazy performance for that price. If they because isn't the actually no, I'm gonna go configure a C8 right now. Um, for Chevy's website if they can let you do that. Because right now I'm wondering, is it possible that you can get one for like 40 grand or something like that? Is it 40 or 45?
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
I'm on the website. I don't know if that's the one, but it says the coupe is MSRP from 59 back grand,
Oh
and the
gosh.
convertible 67.
Yeah, it's 50. I heard people say it was gonna be like 45 grand. Was I hearing that? What the heck?
That's
Was that
about the same
rumors?
price. I think so. Also, I'm looking at the engines and like
Man.
6.2 V8 DI or whatever,
Yeah.
and and there's another one which is slightly more expensive. I don't know why that's the case,
Yeah, I'm
but
gonna
I
go
think
look at
that
this.
slightly more performance or whatever. Yeah, all
I
of them are
can't
being
believe
tuned up,
it. But yeah,
like a Z51 or whatever. Like, oh,
it
yeah. The 3LT is the most expensive one,
mm,
and that's 71 grand. The 2LT is 67 grand, and the cheapest one, the 1LT, is 59
royalty.
grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really confused right now. I genuinely why did I think it was like 45 grand? 40 to 45 grand. I don't know what I was thinking. But no, it's 60 grand. It's still okay, tell me. Like I'm telling you, price per performance, it's still really good. But
Honestly, you could say this is like supercar level
yeah,
in terms of what you
it's like
get
low end
and the looks.
supercar. Yeah. Yeah. Or like a supercar from
Obviously,
some years back.
I can compare it to a used car like an Audi R8, which is only 30 grand in the UK, but this is brand
Oh my
new and all
gosh,
If you
that.
30
think
grand
about
in the UK.
With warranty.
Yeah,
if you
that's
think
true.
about the term supercar, it's like relative depending on what say decade you're speaking about.
That's definitely true because I'm telling you, like a Ferrari
Because
from
hypercars how they're like insane now.
yeah,
And to be fair, this is still insane because it's still the highest top speed of a naturally aspirated car. The McLaren F1 was considered the original hypercar.
yeah,
And it was
basically.
actually a battle for who got the title. It was between the Jaguar
The
XJ and the McLaren
XJ220.
F1.
Yeah, but you know
Whoever
what's
was
funny?
quickest was crowned the true hypercar.
You know what's funny? People, I mean, we all consider the XJ220 a supercar. Like it doesn't register that well. It was kind of aiming like to hit hypercar status, kind of, sort of. Maybe.
No, it
Like
was. It was in contention. Like think of it like
yeah,
it's a tournament and you're in the grand finals. XJ220 F1 winner gets hypercar title, their first ever hypercar, and
yeah,
unlucky to the Jag, McLaren beat
yeah,
you out.
yeah. But
There's been a lot of speed wars between manufacturers, not even just cars.
yeah, a
The
ton.
greatest speed war was between fucking bikes.
Oh
Because that's
gosh.
when we started getting the bullshit like the Hayabusa, like
Oh
that one. That's like that is 240 Ks of death.
Oh gosh. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Some
the
bikes have like
GSR 1300.
insane horsepower.
So
Like, aren't there bikes like 300 horsepower or something like that for a bike? Like, holy
there's very few
crap!
that have 300. Let me put this
Yeah.
into perspective.
Yeah.
The new model Ninja H2 Turbo is
Oh,
about
gosh.
295. That tops
Oh,
out nearly
man.
270 k. No, 370 k's. I mean, that's
Oh, man.
fucked. And
Yeah.
to even put it into even a funny perspective, do you know what that 2 means?
What?
That's engine displacement. 2 liter. 2
Oh
liter.
my gosh.
That's literally like an SR20 on a bike.
Is
That's
it like
a,
167 miles per hour on a bike will make you want to die. Probably really scared.
I've been
I would.
at 270 k. That was fucking terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I was only going a
I
straight
mean,
line too, like not even taking. I was like, oh my god, because this was 2017. Yeah, it was 2017. I was still in high school. Yeah, I went down to my uncle's. He was down with his like stepbrother. They had their bikes. His stepbrother has a fucking Yamaha R1. My uncle has a Fireblade 900cc, and yeah, I had to
Nice.
go on the 900cc. And I remember, like, because where they live, it's just a huge, like, 3 kilometers, like, straight road and, like, kind of country to city land.
Yeah.
So I start to open the throttle and I can feel, like, me and the bike being pushed down quick. And I just see I'm like, oh, I wonder how quick I'm going. I see the tachometer go 230, 240, 250. I'm like, wait a second. Wait. And so I actually let off the throttle. I'm like, fucking yoish. When I went back inside, when I opened the door, I didn't really notice, but Uncle did because he fucking says, oh, you having fun there? Because I noticed that my right hand was a little, fingers a little shaky. Because I was like, oh, if I come off here, I am fucking gone. It's utterly gone. And that reminds me of a story kind of like when my dad, he was in a police chase on his bike and he got away.
Yeah.
But the way he got away was completely fucked. What happened was he turned in real tight into the corner, but it kind of concaved in. Like it was a ditch, kind of. He got the front wheel, he high sided, and him and the bike went over, like into a grass bank.
Snap.
And he said he got so fucking lucky in a billion ways. One of them was when him and the bike flung down, the cop car didn't see. Completely kept going the other way.
Man.
The other lucky part, he like falls, like braces like with his forearms. He looks up and there's like a concrete slab, maybe
Oh my gosh.
maybe less than half a meter in front of him. Like imagine if you had say like a 1.25 like liter like soft drink, like fizzy, and you put it from his head to the concrete slab.
Oh gosh.
Yup. And yeah, he had a helmet on, but he's like at that speed, the helmet's just breaking along with me.
So actually, like if anything,
that actually happened. Talking about that exact thing happened where I had my crash actually at my other MR2.
Yeah.
Because it was just ridden with potholes. They completely blocked off the road for like 2 months and redid all of it, right? Because it wasn't just my crash. I was one of like 40 crashes within a 3-month span. Like when the cops came, like I ripped off all my stickers and shit. Like there's probably
it's pothole, isn't it?
Yeah. I literally pointed and you could see pieces of my tire in a pothole and like the grinding from my fucking rim. And my problem was it didn't snap oversteer. That was the problem. I bet you if I snap oversteer and started spinning, I wouldn't have crashed because what happened was I completely held the slide, but instead of like say just like a really sharp turn, it was a fucking really sharp turn. And it was an S-bend pretty much. It was a chicane and you boom right into the fucking rock wall.
Dang.
I nearly died there too. That was all G's.
Damn.
But yeah, one guy actually hit a pothole on his bike, went head first into the guardrail and died.
What?
There was another one where Sylvia wound up in the fucking water.
Oh my gosh.
So, mate, what's happening here? Fix your fucking roads.
Dude, that's like
there was like an article complaining about it. And I was like, bro, fuck, I'm right there with you.
That's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's bad. That's a scary one.
Yeah, I feel like I'm regular.
So basically, around your place is like Need for Speed Pro Street, the Nevada Highway Speed Challenges, but IRL.
Oh,
It's basically just your daily
there
commute.
are things called 9 battles because there's a motorway system here
Yeah.
from my city to the next, and
Oh,
it is
yeah.
exactly 9 kilometers exactly. But the
Mhm.
thing is, it's not straight. It has like huge downward bends and curves that go uphill and shit because it's like built in like hillside pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. Like if you go a bit too quick over some of them big leaps, like
Rest
what
in
happened?
peace.
Actually, oh my god, there's so many fucking stories where I was going about maybe 220Ks, and I probably shouldn't have been going that quick because it kind of about a bit of a leap. All 4 wheels come off the ground. That fucking
Oh,
slam
gosh.
down, and my door flings the fuck open. My driver's side door. It's fucked. I remember,
That sounds
and the thing is, like, you could be like, oh, like, you know, logs like to prove it. Yeah, but they nuked Cam server, bro. Because I
Yeah.
remember being like, dog, I'm on my computer right now. I don't know where my phone is because my door card, someone like modified it.
oh
It has no backstop like where the actual door opening is. So essentially,
you
when it
just
flung
open
open,
all the way
my phone
through.
flung with it.
Oh gosh.
And I literally saw it blink out because it's one of the facial recognition ones. I saw it blink a light and fling into the fucking darkness.
Oh man.
It was like heartbreaking because like it was a hand me down. I didn't have to pay anything for it, but
Yeah.
like, and you know, it's my mom's work phone. She got it for free, but still, the retail price, it was a 7 plus. The retail for 7 plus at that time was more than I paid for the MR2
Oh my
because
gosh.
I only paid $1,000 for it. The MR2.
wasn't
Yeah.
the way wasn't the
Oh,
way
Oh,
man.
man, I
you got it.
was so too. And I put it off for so long. I guess that was just the vermin and the void and everything punishing me for not selling it earlier. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like a new fucking ECU flash. I'm gonna like essentially like respray it and all this shit. Like I'll just get
Yeah.
cousin Glenn to fuck.
Oh,
Actually, no, he's working on this. Oh fuck, okay, this is demonic what he's doing. So, oh man, you know those the middle generation Camaro between like the older ones and then the one like the 2000s one, like that early 2000s 90s one.
The IROC
Like
Z?
it doesn't really look Camaro-ish.
I think that's the
no
IROC
way.
Z.
Something
Something like that.
Yeah. Oh fuck, it is. Yeah. So he has actually no, not the IROC. No, it's
Oh, it's
the
different.
model after that.
Mm.
Okay, fuck.
It's some Camaro. Let's just
Yeah.
go run with
It's
it.
the one predominantly used for like sideshows. If you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the one just before the Bumblebee model. He has one of those. He's building it with a stock car, and he's tossing a 1UZ in it. It's turbocharged.
Interesting.
Like you're showing me like photos of his build. I'm like, what the fuck are you up to, mate? Like I know, like we make demonic shit for like particularly no reason. Like nobody asked for like no one asked for a DC2 Integra with a NSX drivetrain and engine swap. So the boot is where the engine is. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, it's a midship Integra. It's like what? Or the electric Mustang that's used for drags. That's ridiculously quick.
Man.
Or there's that same model of Camaro that my uncle has, and it was like a magazine article about it where it was actually one of the IMSA Camaros of that generation.
Yeah.
Someone tossed a 20B into it from like a 3-rotor.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's also that Corvette up north with the just a 13B that's like twin turbo. It's like, and his whole motivation for doing it was, his whole motivation for doing that is it's like I'm literally just being inverse America. Like they put aliases and fucking RXAs. I'm gonna put rotaries and fucking Corvettes. Yeah, so what's going on here, mate? Rotaries are one of the most popular engine swaps for just like any car, really. Like Sylvia's Skylines, even some.
Yeah, that's interesting though, because just me personally, I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, I guess from a lack of experience, I wouldn't want to swap in an engine that requires that much maintenance. But
to be fair,
hey, if you can,
here's the thing.
Cool with it, you're cool with it. You know,
I have heard some things talking to like other people on other servers about like American car mechanics, and some of them they're like, they can't find like pretty simply easy to find parts, or they won't work on specific type of cars. One that's infamous is midships. So
Mm.
usually these midship specialists
Yeah.
in like America, I've heard. Here in my city, well, there's actually a lot of them. One of my cousins works for the rotary specialist up north, pure performance rotary engineering, like PPRE. You know, they do
Yeah.
like Mad Mike's 4 rotors, and they made a 6 rotor for RX3.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 rotor. Yeah,
The heck?
That's,
A 6-rotor engine?
yeah,
that
yeah,
sounds very
6.
scary, very loud. Like,
Yeah, they brought it out to a real race day.
Oh man.
Wasn't in like the quickest because of the balance, but it was like it's just brutal sounding.
Yeah.
but how can you even live
Gosh,
with something
dang.
like that? Because that sounds like I'd probably get deaf after a while, honestly. But that's just crazy,
Oh,
man.
man.
That's just sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, and now in 30 to 40 years we're just gonna be like, oh cool, what EV does your car have a swap for? Man. Yeah, we're
To
gonna
be
end
fair,
up not being able to
there might
see
be
stuff like that anymore. Yeah, what were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say like maybe they might come up with some crazy version of like a rotary EV or something like that.
How would that work?
I don't know, but
Instead
don't
of
know, but-
combustion or rotary, like the rotors move because of like a DC motor or something. I don't know how that would work, man. But
I have no idea, but it could be quite funny and it's interesting to see whatever they
Yeah.
make.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is a good episode. Everyone, check out Project Unite or mess around with the mods. It's worth it, even if you only end up being entertained for 5 minutes. I definitely wasn't. Like, it's still a good time, but each their own. Regardless of that, try it out, check it out. Go to their Discord server. The people there are way nicer than what I've experienced with other communities. And we'll see you guys all in the next one.